I'm Lisa Stone. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Parenting Aces.
Thanks so much for joining us again for this week's edition of the Parenting Aces podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Stone, and you are going to thank me after you listen to this week's show. Oh my gosh, I am going to be talking with Lindsay Lee Waters and her husband, Heath Waters, about a new app that they have designed and released on the Apple App Store and also the Google App Store, the Android App Store, that is going to change your life if your child plays junior tennis tournaments. This app is just incredible. It's something that needed to happen a long time ago, and huge, huge kudos to Lindsay and to Heath for following through on their vision to bring this thing to the marketplace. I want to encourage you all to check out the show notes for this week's episode because Lindsay and Heath have offered a very generous discount to the Parenting Aces community. It is a paid app, but I am telling you it is more than worth what you're going to be paying for it. It will save you hours and hours and hours in planning and organizing and all of that. So I am just thrilled to have them on the show and to be able to offer a discount to my listeners, and a big thank you to Heath and Lindsay for that. When we come back, Heath and Lindsay Lee Waters.
Don't miss a thing on Parenting Aces. Be sure to sign up for our free e-newsletter so you're among the first to know when a new article is posted. Simply go to parentingaces.com and enter your email address, then click subscribe in the Subscribe for Updates box on the left side of the page.
Welcome to the Parenting Aces podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Stone, and we are joined this week by Heath and Lindsay Lee Waters. Guys, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having us.
I'm so excited to pull the brains a little bit, but before we get into the meat of this thing and the reason that we're doing this week, I would love for you to give our listeners a little bit of background on your lives in tennis. I know it's extensive on both your parts, and what it was like for you coming up through juniors and beyond, and that way our listeners will kind of have a better feel for where you're coming from with what we're going to talk about in the meat of the podcast today.
Great, yeah.
All right, who's going first? Lady
sorry.
First? Yeah,
I guess I will. Okay. Well, I grew up playing junior tennis in Oklahoma with the Missouri Valley, and I moved to Atlanta when I was 15 to train with a coach there and played nationals. My highest national ranking was 5 in the nation, and when I was 16, I actually turned pro and really traveled and played on the tour for 20 years and reached a career high of 33 in the world. And during that time, we had 2 children who are now 16 and 11. And for most of my time on tour, really just traveled. Heath and the kids traveled with me, and it was just great memories, and we had a great time. And I retired about 3 years ago, and for some reason, not too long ago, I got the crazy idea I wanted to start back playing again. And thankfully, I have a supportive husband and kids as well to help support that dream. So basically, currently, right now, I'm a full-time mom trying to keep up with 2 kids, coaching juniors with my husband, and playing on tour. So
Fantastic. And how's tour life treating you these days?
It's been good. It's been tough getting back into tournament shape. But yeah, it's been good. I qualified last week in a 25, and I have a ranking now. So it's definitely, the competition is just getting stronger and stronger from obviously when I first started a long, long time ago. But I love the challenge and just enjoy the competition, and I absolutely love the sport. So win or lose, I'm just excited to be able to still compete and be healthy and enjoying. Obviously, I love the travel. So, yeah.
I'm going to ask you a rude question. How old are you?
84.
Well, I'm going to stick with 39, but I turned 40 in June, so I'm still at 39 right now. Mm-hmm.
And she hasn't played the last 6 matches. A girl over 20 years old, and she's beaten 4 of them. It's pretty amazing. 84 years old can do that.
You're my idol because when I get on the Alta court and there's a 25-year-old across the net from me, I freak. So.
Oh, no.
That's awesome, Lindsay. And, I mean, how exciting for you. And that must be so cool for your kids to get to see Mama out there competing hard.
Oh,
so
yeah. And now they're old enough to really understand it. They were, pretty young. Actually, my daughter was, 10 and 11, so she kind of gets it a lot more than our son. But now she's older. Yeah, it's just so neat to travel with them and let them experience the cultures, different cultures. And, I mean, our whole family, we just absolutely love the sport, so it's great.
That's fantastic. And Heath, what about you? Give us your story.
Well, married to that beautiful lady, and they used to, I think we were like the traveling hillbillies probably because we're kind of country, but we had a blast at it. My background, I played college tennis and blew my knee out, got into coaching right out of college, and since 1998.
Where did you play your college tennis?
I played at Auburn Montgomery, and
awesome.
Enjoyed that. Had a lot of fun guys on the team. And then here in Atlanta, started an academy back in '94 and with young juniors, and then started coaching on tour. That was fun. Had a lot of good players. At one time had 3 girls top 10 in the world in the juniors. That was pretty fun. And then now I've been coaching on the pro tour since 1998. So registered on the ATP tour and the WTA tour. So I've just been blessed to be able to, like Lindsay said, travel the world and coach at the highest levels at Wimbledon and U.S. Open, Australia, and all these branches. It's just that's very exciting. And so when Lindsay wanted to come back and play for the 100th time, because she's played, had a baby, retired, played doubles, retired and played. It's just fun. I'll never say no because you only live once, and I'll get in trouble if I say no anyways. So, but anyway.
But you know that. It is really good that you know that.
Like they say, keep that happy wife, happy life.
There you go.
So, yeah. So, anyways, but that's me. Just I love coaching. I love trying to influence and make a difference in kids' lives and parents. We love the parental education stuff. And what's neat about Lindsay, I think, is with her, it's just unique with even what she's doing with this app thing that she's been a student as a young player. She coaches on the court weekly when she's in between tournaments, and then she's a mom and she's a tour player. So she's, seeing this from every different perspective, and just, the idea she had with this app and how she's made this is just really neat. And so I'm excited about everything, all this stuff. So with me, that's, So, I don't know what else to say about me. I'm
your
just
story?
Silly man.
I love it.
We like having fun, that's for sure.
Well, it sounds like it. Do your kids play?
Oh, well, our daughter started out playing and got up to nationals, and then when she was 10, she had to have a surgery on her foot. She had an extra bone in her foot, and then a year later, she had to have knee surgery. So she kind of was really discouraged, and it wasn't necessarily her passion. She's very artsy and loves writing. She just wrote a novel in high school, and just a lot of leadership classes. So that's not really the tennis isn't the direction that she wants to go with her life, which is cool. And our son absolutely loves it. He's just turned 11 and plays a lot of tournaments, loves training. So yeah.
So y'all are tennis parents now too, on top of everything else.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
We experienced the pain.
Yes. Well, see, it's good that my listeners hear that, because it lends that much more credibility to what we're getting ready to talk about, which is this new app that you guys have developed. And please tell us about it, and I want to hear the details, and I'll ask my questions as you're talking, because I'm sure I'll think of some as you describe what you're doing.
Yeah, we are so excited about this app, because like most families, that are very busy, we are very busy and live a fast-paced life. I'm on tour, like I said, coaching with my husband, and we run businesses. And I was finding it was taking hours each month to even manage my son's tennis tournament life, and just thought there has to be a better way. And so me and Heath, we were talking one night trying to figure out, because it felt like I was just spending so many hours finding tournaments and ranking, just everything, registering. And so we wanted to come up with something, and we wanted to create a calendar-based app, that you can manage your whole tennis journey through one place instead of having to go to 10 different sites. Just to easily manage your tennis journey. And so you can, from our app, you can quickly find any USTA tournament, search for rankings, save your, players' rankings, see your player records or other people's records, quickly register, find a doubles partner. So there's so many cool things that we found that it's just saved so much time.
So what's the name of your app?
Oh, it's the Match Tennis app.
And it's available in the App Store, I take it?
It is. And to get to it, you would just go to matchtennisapp.com and register there first, and then download it from the app after.
Yeah, you can download it from the Google Android store or from the Apple store, but you have to go register online first before you can get the mobile version for your tablet or your phone.
Okay, and just for my listeners, I will have a link to that in the show notes, so don't worry about writing that down now. You'll be able to check the show notes and click right on it from there. So let's talk a little bit more about this app. I am so intrigued and actually really jealous that this exists now, because as you're describing why you designed the app, I am sitting here nodding my head going, oh my gosh, yes, that's exactly, yes. And I'm done with junior tennis, so too bad for me. But, okay, so...
Grandkids. Grandkids in the future,
Well, there you go. I'm a ways away from that, but you will have made this so much better by then. So for now, people get the app and like really walk us through it. So let's say you've got a kid in the 12 and unders, and in the 12s they're playing maybe some local and sectional events. How do I use your app to simplify my life?
Well, there's a ton of ways, and actually, Heath, if you want to share the recent experience you had just in doubles alone.
For sure. So that's a good start. Well, this whole thing, Lindsay kind of designed to turn those hours and hours a month into minutes a month. That's what the whole concept is. And as an example, one of the things that we struggled with, basically we sat down, and every struggle we had, because we're so busy flying by the seat of our pants, going from here to there and all that, how could we streamline every single thing to turn it into an app that would make our experience at every place we go and just this whole journey so much better? And as an example, the first thing is I used to struggle, and Lindsay used to struggle just to get my son doubles partners. He's young. He just turned 11, so the last year was really painful. And as an example, the last Southern Level 1 before the app that we went to down in Jackson, Mississippi, I feel really bad for this director, whoever he was. I can't quite remember his name right now, but really nice guy. And he I called and said, hey, I'm looking for a doubles partner for my son. Can you help me out? He sent me a text back and said, yes, call this person. I texted that person, and that person had already found somebody. And so I contacted him again. I said, hey, there he had somebody. And this went on back and forth for about 5 days. And finally, at the end, somebody ended up calling me, and they needed a partner, and boom, we had a partner. But that took 5 days, and my goodness, the poor director must have spent, if he had to do that for everybody, which I'm assuming he did, that was a nightmare. Now with the app, so we said, how can we make that better? We simply have a find a doubles partner feature for every single tournament you go to, and it's so simple. You just go on to the tournament details page. It has a button that says find a doubles partner, and you add your number, your name, and contact information to the doubles request list. And then, I did that for the last 2 tournaments. Literally, I just did it for a Southern Level 3 right here for this weekend. This little boy was on there, or his parents. I just clicked it. It sends an automatic email to them, and you can revise the email if you want. And I just said, hey, my son's looking for a doubles partner. Would you be interested? And in the email, it already says the name of the tournament and the date, and it has my son, Heath Waters, is looking for it. And literally within 30 minutes, he said, yes, and boom. And if I wanted to, which I did, if you want to look up that player's ranking right then and there, or there could be 10 people on that list in your age division, whatever, you can within seconds do some due diligence and make an educated decision if you'd be a good fit. But you can text or email them. And I had both times I had a partner within 30 minutes instead of 5 days. So all that time, it's just painful to go through all that. And so that's one feature that's, and we're revising this. So just to let you know, we're going to make it where it's more private than it is right now. So we're in development to even everything we're doing, we're going to get better and better. But Lindsay, maybe share with them kind of your how we missed that tournament last year, another feature that we found that I think
yes. Yeah, this is definitely, I have a lot of favorites, but this is one of my favorite features. Last year, our son, he would have made it into his first national event, and he was so excited to play. And, I thought Heath had entered, and he thought I entered, and we ended up missing the deadline for the tournament, and he was devastated because he absolutely loves, he wants to play every weekend. And what's cool about the app is once you add it to your calendar, your in-app calendar, you're sent an email reminder 3 days before and the day of the tournament deadline. In the email, it has a link that takes you straight to the registration page. And so since creating this app, we haven't missed one deadline because it's so difficult.
And our son's happy now. He loves it.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, it happens all the time. And the deadlines, depending on whether it's a national tournament or a regional tournament or a local tournament, some deadlines are at noon, some are at midnight, and
Bingo.
You have to know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hard to keep up with.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
This does all the work for you. That's what's cool.
So let me, as you were describing the doubles partner find feature, Heath, so when you're looking for a doubles partner, are your options only people who have the app, or it's anybody that signed up for the tournament?
Currently, it's only people within the app.
Okay.
And so we, however, are growing rapidly, it appears, over the last 2 weeks. And we're going and making relationships with the major tournament directors in the South. And then we're also, in a month, we're going after many of the relationships throughout the United States with directors. So we've created another version of our app for tournament directors. Matter of fact, the Southern Level 3 this weekend is Turhan Bernay. He's using our app for his tournament. And so we're creating a communication center. So they're using our app to push out, rain delay information. So immediately, hey, draws posted. That'll be from our app going to your text, your email, your Facebook, Twitter. They put in one little, piece of information, and it goes out to all those mediums. So it goes out rather than us parents. It's another feature. Rather than the parents having to go and click the important info thing on the USTA site a million times, it simply is pushed out to where we are. If we're at the pool drinking a pina colada, boom, draws posted, or first match round time, or, rain delay, check back at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. or whatever it might be. It comes to us rather than us have to go and constantly find when he updates that website. And if you're on Facebook, it goes there, Twitter, wherever it goes, all one piece of information goes everywhere. So yeah, and so these tournament directors are using the app in order. And so so what happens is when the kids go to the tournaments, they get free registration to our app, 30 days access for free, and they get all the benefits of our app. So if they want to, find doubles partners, if they want to look at rankings, if they want to, in a minute, Lindsay will probably tell you about the sort applicants thing, which is my favorite. Well, maybe I'll tell you my favorite one. You can do all of these cool features and to streamline your over 30 days at the same time of get those instant tournament notifications.
I swear, it's like you have gone through and read all of my archived articles on parentingaces.com and taken all of my complaints and solved them in one app. I mean, this is seriously, this is brilliant because I mean, for years I was writing letters or emails, I guess, to TennisLink, to USTA saying, I don't understand why y'all can't notify me when something changes on a tournament that my kids registered for. You're collecting my contact information when I register. Why can't you send me an email or a text message when there's a rain delay or when the draws go up? I mean, for years I've been sending that same message to them, and every time I would either get A, no response, or B, it's coming, be patient, it's coming. And now, of course, my kid's done in junior tennis. It's irrelevant. But this is exactly what has been missing. You guys are brilliant. This is amazing. So, okay, tell us about the sort feature, Heath. I'm dying to hear every little thing about this app.
Well, this is my biggest nightmare is because I go to a website, and so my son, our son, he's moving up from a state level to a sectional level, then a sectional level to a national level. And so the Peach State, for instance, the Macon qualifiers coming up, which is the biggest state coming year, right? And there's 80, 90 people on that list of all the applicants and stuff. And this happened last year. This year, we have our app. No problem. It's 2 seconds. But last year, we didn't know if he was going to make it in because he was like 76, and they take 64. But if you're on the bubble, you might or might not get in. But the thing is like when you go into our app now, every applicant, when you go there, you can search or you can sort the applicants by state, sectional, and national ranking just by the touch of a button. You just push the button, and if it's, there's 100 people there, it'll sort them by that in a matter of seconds. And now, so for seeding, if you want to see if you're seeded at a tournament, or if you're in the top 4, or if it's a 32 draw, it might be even bigger, whatever it is, how many seeds they're going to do, you'll see if you're going to be in that range. And then if you want to see if you're going to make it, you see there's 100 people, they're only taking 64. Well, what's the 64th person? And you will see exactly. So then you can make an educated decision. Okay, look, I want to give him that Southern Level 3, but he's not going to get in, so I'll stay home and play a Southern Level 4 or a local tournament because I'm not going to go spend, taking a chance spending $1,000 on the weekend for him to maybe get in or not as an alternate. And so that used to, so what I used to have to do, I used to have to write down the person's
manually
name.
Look them up. Yeah.
And then look up
right.
84 people last year I had to look up
Yeah.
and put their rankings, look up the names, put the rankings, look up the names. That took me 4 hours.
And so, been there, done that. Yeah.
And now it's literally, it's 4 seconds.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so you can get this hopefully in time to not miss entry deadlines for other tournaments is really the purpose, right? So you're not spending your life on the alternate list, which again, I've written I don't know how many articles about that. Just like you were saying, you know, my kid went through that where their ranking is climbing, and so they're moving from the locals to the sectionals to the nationals. And you know, when you're making those transitions, there's a lot of times you just miss the cutoff. And I mean, this is so awesome. I hope everyone listening to this goes and downloads this app immediately. This is brilliant. You guys are, I'm so excited. Tennis parents, if you're listening, y'all have no idea. This is going to change your life.
Lindsay, tell her about the all tournaments entered kind of feature that kind of helped you out, because that bothered you quite a bit.
Oh,
Lindsay was our tournament. Yeah. And the tournament calendar thing and what you used to have to go through with that.
Yeah, this has been huge time saver as well. Is used to, we plan ahead 3 to 6 months ahead, our schedules, my tournaments, my husband's clients, our academy and son's tournaments and family. And used to I'd have to manually enter the academy kids tournaments and our son's tournaments into our Google Docs calendar. That's what we used.
You used a spreadsheet.
And now, we did a spreadsheet, and Heath really likes it on his personal, the Google Docs calendar. That's what we use. But now it's from one click of a button you push, and it saves that tournament to your iOS, your Google Calendar, or Outlook calendar. So what took hours of typing each one in, now we just click a button, and it automatically goes to your personal computer or your personal calendar. So, and
then the other cool thing is, this was a big pain point for me, is that we went back and forth of who was entering tournaments. Is just whoever had time, either mommy or daddy would do it. But then we would later find out, we didn't know, because we do plan 3 to 6 months ahead, did we actually enter that tournament or not? If we were not in such a rush, then maybe we would create a system, a better system, and we'd color code it and say we did enter it, but we didn't. We just had all those, congratulations, here's your confirmation email, you've made it into this tournament, or you entered this tournament, and we had to go do a search for that tournament, all the confirmation emails in our email client or program. And sometimes the email would get deleted or whatever. But again, it would take time and time and time. And now what we have as a feature is it shows you all the previous tournaments and all the upcoming tournaments that you've ever entered. It lists them for you right within the app. So you never have to go look in your email. Did I enter Macon? Did I enter that Southern event? Did I enter the national event in Chicago? It'll be all right there for you, and whether you've not done it. So it's just huge for, that even. And so, but the biggest, Lindsay used to have to, on that tournament calendar thing, she would do a Google spreadsheet, and literally, Lindsay, how many days did that take you to do 6 months worth of scheduling you did it on the Excel spreadsheet or the Google spreadsheet, and then you would transcribe all of that into the Google Calendar sheets.
Yeah, weeks.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think she'd probably get it done within the 2 weeks.
It was no fun.
No, it's not. And I used to have a whiteboard on my office, in my office, and I just would write the tournament dates down and hope to God that, I remembered to enter, like you said. Everything that you're addressing is the stuff that we all live if we're in the world of junior tennis. So this is so perfect. So one of the things that you guys are doing, Heath, you let me know about, is y'all are working with UTR now too with their events. So tell me a little bit about that, because anybody that's
visited parentingaces.com or listened to this podcast knows that I am a huge fan of universal tennis ratings, a big proponent of their system. And, in fact, I run, this year it's going to be 2 UTR events. My Saul Schwartz All-In Save College Tennis tournaments are done through UTR, so I love those guys. But tell me how you guys are working with them.
Yeah, that we are exhilarated. Just the last several months, I've become much more familiar with the UTR, and Lindsay the same. And me personally, I just love the whole concept of the way their events are run. And as a player development coach, who that's where my heart is as a coach, to take people from 6 years old all the way to their full potential, whatever that is. I love that you can actually have and go, if I'm going to go all the way 6 hours away and I'm going to pay $1,000 for that weekend, it hurts to just play 2 matches and come home. It hurts sure. in every way, but the wallet, just the experience, and just knowing that with UTR, for a player to go to their full potential, that opportunity to have a compass draw, because you used to in the 12s, but I think I've heard recently they've changed it here in the South, that you were able to go and guaranteed 4 matches, and then you get the doubles on top of that. So it's worth it. But what's so neat is from match to match, you're able to make those adjustments if you're guaranteed 4 matches. And with the UTR rating system, they're all competitive. That makes it even better because they're good players, and you're going to really challenge. So my son's 11. I want him to face tough competition, and for him to learn incrementally from each match to match, 1 inch at a time, how to shape his behavior towards what we call champion's mindset. And so it's really, really neat. And so the fact on top of that with the UTR that you can actually do coaching, and they have it set up where you can coach in between sets, or whether, you can do it even between points if you set it up that way, or whatever it is. That to me is wonderful, because you're shaping their behavior to think in the way that's going to teach them how to deal with their adversities in real time. You can learn a lot, and there is a time and a place why a combination is good too, because in the end they have to do it on their own. But at their developmental years, it's incredible. And so what we're going to do, we're our developers are working with theirs right now, and we're in the works of we're going to bring in, so when you have that applicants list, or events, if you want to search for events, well, now you'll be able to search for UTR events in about 30 to 45 days. That's our goal, to have it done by then. It never is. It could be earlier, it could be later. You never know with coding. And then the second part is to bring in the ratings. And so when you're sorting those applicants, and this really holds true for the older, freshmen, juniors, sophomores, seniors in high school, people trying to get into college, because as you know, the ITA just signed a 5-year deal with the UTR, and that's what really got my attention, because what does that mean? And look, Kevin was just practicing with us yesterday at our courts, who's the coach for South Carolina here at the NCAA, Kevin Epley. And I was talking to him about this, and he goes, what do we look for college? UTR is it. That's it. We only look at UTR, really, at the ratings. And so any parents that really want to pursue their kid playing college tennis, the UTR is number 1 right now for universities, especially since they signed that 5-year deal with the ITA. That means that college-bound, that is the most relevant rating system that they're looking for. And so it's important to try to, get better at your rating and stuff. And so for me, in these, when you go to the applicants list now, you'll have a state USTA ranking, a sectional USTA ranking, a national ranking, and then you'll have right beside that UTR rating, and that's coming in the very near future. And some people, when they get, say, a junior in high school, but, talking to the UTR execs and stuff, everybody might not be 100% educated, because some people might not want to play. Say I'm a 9.5 and there's no 10, 5s or 11s in that tournament. Some people might try to avoid that, but that's not necessarily what they want, and that really isn't the case. And so I think that having that data so you can make educated decisions for USTA, UTR, that's what is important for the future. And so the way we're looking at it, to be honest with you, Lisa, when we think of Match Tennis app, if you take Yahoo, it's a portal. You can go on Yahoo and you can get some sports information. You can check out the entertainment section. You can check your stock quotes, whatever. We want to be that type of Yahoo portal where you can go to Match Tennis app, and if you want to, check your UTR rating, if you want to check your USTA ranking, if you want to enter a UTR event, so the consumer has the choice. We're not, pro this, pro that. We have things that we like about all of them, but we want to have the end user, which is the tournament parent, give them the choice and help educate them on how can they increase the quality of experience for their daughter or son.
That's fantastic. Playing devil's advocate here, because I know I'm going to get this question after the fact, or somebody's going to write this as a comment on the podcast. So I'm going to just go ahead and ask it. With all of that information being available in one place, are you fearful that parents or players as they get older are going to use this information to try to, quote, game the system and, avoid certain players or avoid tournaments, like you said a few minutes ago, Heath, where maybe, the UTR of the players isn't what they're looking for their kid because they want their kid's UTR to climb. And this is something, it comes up often, and usually Bruce or Randy or somebody from UTR will address it when it comes in as a comment on an article on my website. There really is no way to game UTR. And it's not about, playing certain tournaments or certain matches because you want your UTR to go up. Your UTR goes up because you are improving, and it goes down because you are, not improving or getting worse. So how are y'all going to address that with your app?
Talking to Bruce the other day with UTR, I didn't know this information, but he said any player that you play, so if I go into a tournament, I'm 11 rated, and I play someone that is less than 2.5 below me, it doesn't even affect your rating. They used to not even count that. So if 11 plays an 8, they used to not even count that match in your UTR rating. They do now, but it's very negligible. So people have a misconception about the algorithm that they're not understanding, because everybody, they understand that one bad loss doesn't mean, because if you have 100 competitive matches, that one there, it wasn't competitive, it isn't going to affect you if you lose in that match. So people trying to duck and stuff, well, number one, just being an ATP and WTA registered coach as a player development coach, I can tell you this: it's more important that you focus on the process and focus on not if you can let go of the outcome and really be the best that you can be that day and not worry about winning and losing. In the end, our objective as coaches and as parents need to be, in my opinion, to take the handcuffs off the players and let them play freely so everything that they've been trained can come out. I don't know any child on the earth that wants to go out and lose. And so, however, they want to win bad enough. And no one can put pressure on a kid, really. They can try, but in the end, how that kid interprets or receives or channels that information, they're the ones who puts pressure because they think mommy or daddy or somebody cares, or, a kid comes off the court. And what's the first question that every single kid gets asked after a tennis match? Even by the parents walking down the sidewalk, you've just played your match. What's the first question that comes out of a parent's mouth?
How'd you do?
Did you win? Did you win? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Did you win? Because and so society has pointed us in this direction that it's all about winning. They didn't ask, did you have fun? What did you improve?
No.
Did you try your hardest? So then they're not. Tennis parents aren't asking the right questions, and our society is creating this now where everybody is saying that it's all about winning. It's really self-appraisal. Did you personally play the best that you can play? And that's what people should get excited about, and making memories. Those are our two things. And so, yeah. I don't know if that answered the question, but.
you did. And I mean, and it's a process to change the mindset for parents, right? Because if we are not, if we haven't come up through competitive sports ourselves, then, for us, it's about winning and losing. That's how we judge whether our child is getting better. is if they won or they lost, because we don't know any better. And that's why we have to be educated. And when I say we, I mean parents. And that's been one of the things that, I've hoped to help with that process through Parenting Aces by having people like y'all on the podcast and, doing articles with interviews and such, trying to help parents understand that we need to step away as parents from the outcomes, as you said, and be more process-based. And, I think we're getting better as a society, but, one of the issues with junior tennis is there's constantly an influx of new families in the sport, right? I mean, my kid's out of the sport now, but another family's just coming into the sport, and they're starting from scratch. And so I think it's important that we catch the families early, and hopefully through y'all's app, there will be some sort of education component that comes with it so that the families signing up for it, hopefully they're signing up when their children first start playing tournaments, and so that they start on the right foot with all of this.
Well, Lindsay, that's a great point. Lindsay has a heart to want to educate, and I do too, parents as well. And so we are going to, in about 60 days, be starting a blog and covering topics, because Lindsay, just because of her unique situation, starting at 12 years old, or 8 years old, I guess, is that right, Lindsay? And
yeah,
going all the way through every situation, from being a player, from being a junior player, to being a pro player, to being a tour-level coach, to being a parent of kids that are playing at a national level at a young age. And what does that all look like? And the experiences that she's basically just going to share all of her experiences, and we're going to do some things together with that just to try to, how many tournaments should you be playing? What is a good number, and what does it take to get to X? What does it realistically take for somebody wanted to play high school, or someone wanted to play or pursue college or even a professional career? What's realistic? And most people aren't aware of that. And we would kind of like to step in and just from our experience be able to educate through our blog these type of questions, answer them.
Great. Well, I hope you guys will share that content. Maybe we can partner in some kind of way to share the content and, make sure that we reach as many people as possible. And, that's been what Parenting Aces was about from the get-go, is me as a parent sharing my experience and my learning along the way, and, sharing all the mistakes I made and trying to help people avoid doing the same dumb things I did. So, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we make tons every day of mistakes.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all do, obviously, but I think while every family's path is different through junior tennis, and that's one of the things that makes tennis such a complicated sport to be involved in, as a family, because there is no one blueprint to take you from beginner to whatever your highest level happens to be. There certainly are things to avoid along the way and that are pretty universal. And so, I think the more people that are out, preaching that, the better. So I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. And again, I'm happy to share whatever y'all have with my little Parenting Aces community. So I hope you'll
thank you so much.
Keep me in the loop.
I mean, yeah. For sure. I mean, we're just very passionate, about tennis and helping in any way we can. And we're so honored that you let us be on your show and be able to share.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I'm thrilled to finally get to talk to you all. It's so funny because, obviously we live in the same general area. And I know, Heath, you and I have crossed paths at tournaments because I've heard your name come up more than once. And Lindsay, I've followed you for a while too. So I suspect that we've probably been in the same place at the same time, but
At some point, I'm sure in the near future, we will actually wind up meeting face to face and go, "Oh, you're Lindsay, you're Heath." Ah.
Well, we would love that.
Well, me too.
Coffee anytime.
Okay.
We love people that are passionate like you. That's we love talking to people that want to make a difference, and that's exciting. And what you're doing is just fantabulous. And we've heard nothing but awesome stuff from every single person that is a part of your Parenting Aces. So really cool. Well, so great that you actually had the motivation to make a difference.
Well, it's good and bad. I suspect my son would maybe have the other side of the story to tell, but that's okay.
Your son or thousands of people, you get hundreds of.
Well, so we're getting down to our last few minutes, and I want to just make sure that I give you guys the opportunity to share everything you want to share with our audience today. So, again, we've got a link to your website, and the app website will be in our show notes. What else do parents need to know? Is there a cost involved with participating in your app?
Heath, I'll let you go ahead.
Okay. Yes, it's $1 million a day. No, I'm just joking.
No, that's dropping the bucket in terms of tennis budget.
It's $10 a month straight up. We didn't do $9.99 or $12.99. We didn't do any of the $9.99 stuff because we always feel like we're getting taken when we do that $9. It's really $10 when you do $9.99. So we just said, man, let's make it $10. So it's $10 a month. It's been out for a couple of weeks, and we've heard good and bad about that. Some people said, oh man, that's for what you're getting is saving me 16, 20, 30 hours a month. Oh my gosh, should be $50 a month. And some people said this is way too expensive. And so, for people who want to know how we came up with the pricing. So like Lindsay, she does, what's the music app you listen to every day, Lindsay?
Spotify.
How much you paying for that, honey?
It's $11.99.
$11.99 a month, and then all of our players do Headspace, which is a mindfulness training app, which is $12.99 a month. And then the way we look at it. And then what's the movie one we do every month, Lindsay?
Netflix.
We do $9.99 a month there. And so, and then for the way I look at it, it's good as it's 2 lattes. If you do the yearly thing, it's eight comes out to $8 something a month, or $8 and something, $8.33, whatever. And if you do the $10 a month, it's $120 a year. But really, all those things that we just talked about, those are entertainment apps. This here to us is a life game-changing app, meaning it reduces stress, it reduces the time, turns those hours a month into minutes a month. And so you can actually spend more time making memories and doing things with your family instead of being on websites for 20 hours a day or whatever. So that's why we priced it the way we did. And we've put, Lindsay, how much money have you put into this thing? Estimated. Well, we better not say that. But we'll say.
Yeah. That's okay. You don't have to share that.
Yeah,
it's been a year and a half and a lot of money that we put into this to be honest with you, Lindsay started this because of time, to save her time and streamline and really made it for herself, and then said everybody needs this, and kind of and wanted it in a mobile version that you can take in your pocket and manage your life for your tournament.
Well, and I mean, when you think about it, like you just said, Heath, in terms of 2 lattes, that's incredibly reasonable. And for tennis families, surely at least one of the parents is working in an income-producing capacity. And so when you think about how many hours you spend on your child's tennis and what you could be billing that time at, $10 a month all of a sudden is an incredible bargain. So
yeah, I mean,
I hope people will.
To string a racket, it's minimum, or not string a racket, to just buy the string, it's $12, $13, $15, $20 a set.
Yeah. Right.
So
this is totally right. It's totally worth the $10. So
And you said if you sign up for a year, you get a discount.
Yes. Yeah, and the thing is, you really have to go. It's just important people know everybody gets a free 30-day trial, so they can try and say, this is awful, or this is really good, or whatever they feel. But they get free 30 days to go after it and create their own calendar, add tournaments to their calendar, and get the email reminders and go through those sorting applicants list and all the things that we're talking about. And if they don't like it, you just actually go there. There's a red button that says cancel subscription, and you don't ever get charged. You do have to put your credit card in. If you go through the tournament, you don't. If you actually end up signing in through a tournament that we're kind of in partnership with, you don't. You still get a 30-day trial, but you don't have to put your credit card in. But on the normal one, you do. But the card's never charged if you push the red button before 30 days. And but you have to go to the website first. Some people make the mistake and they go right to the app store, download the app, and they say, "Well, I can't register," because you got to go to the matchtennisapp.com first.
Okay, got it. Any chance maybe we can do a little discount code for Parenting Aces?
Maybe we come up with one. Yeah.
For sure.
We'll come up with something.
Okay, we'll do that, and that'll be in the show notes too. So those of you listening, you better check those show notes and get a little deal.
Hey, awesome.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, you guys, thanks so much for coming on, and tennis parents, you guys have no idea. This is like the hugest gift you have ever gotten. It's going to save you 1 million hours, literally 1 million hours. This is so cool. And I'm just thrilled that you guys, pursued this and did what it took to get the app actually developed and out in the marketplace. So thank you for that. And it's been such a pleasure chatting with y'all.
Gosh, thank you so much.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, for sure.
Here's what's cool about the people that can get in early. They get to shape our app. So anybody we're only 2 weeks old. We've been developing it for a year and a half, but just in 2 weeks, we've put 7 new features in over the last 2 weeks. Because we're not a big bureaucracy, we're very agile. So anybody that gets in early and starts giving us feedback, we it's like, very malleable. We're like going down a stream. Yeah. We just turn a curve. Whatever the parent, the coach, we're making a coach's version too, just to let you know. But you get to shape the app the way that you need it and want it that can make your life better. So please, if you do join, please just email the heck out of us and tell us what you want, and we'll make it happen for you.
Yes, we definitely want feedback. Yeah.
That's great. Well, you guys are amazing. I'm so excited for the world of junior tennis to have this at its fingertips, and it's literally a game changer for families. I mean, no question about it. So I encourage my listeners to check it out. And Lindsay and Heath, best of luck to you guys. Lindsay will be watching you out on the tour.
All right.
You go, Mama. Get out there and fight hard. And that's very exciting. So best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.
We really appreciate it.
Well, this has been great. And to my listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and check us out next time on Parenting Aces. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. I know I learned a lot, and again, wish that this app had been around when my son was going through the juniors. It's just incredible, all the features that it encompasses. So be sure to check the show notes so you can get the discount on the app, and by all means, go download it ASAP. You get your first 30 days free, and you have a chance to check it out and see the value of it, and then get a discounted fee if you decide to continue, which I am confident you will. And before we go, I want to just remind y'all that the entries are open for the ITA Summer Circuit, so make sure you check out the link in the show notes for that. And also entries are open for the 2 Saul Schwartz Save College Tennis All-In Junior Tournaments. We're having one in Atlanta in July and then one in Baltimore in August, and the links for those entries are also on the show notes for this week. So check that out. And thanks for tuning in. If you have a minute and feel the need or feel the urge to leave us a rating and a review on iTunes, we'd certainly appreciate that. It really does help. And hope you have a great week and join us next week for the Parenting Aces podcast.
I'm Lisa Stone, and you've been listening to the Parenting Aces podcast. For tennis parents, by a tennis parent. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to us and write a review on iTunes. For more information on navigating the junior and college tennis journey, visit us online at parentingaces.com. As always, a huge thank you to our sponsor, tennisballs.com.